spring forward with new opposition after a spirited effort to begin a new campaign. USL Championship presented by Wheels welcomes you to Ricardo Silva Stadium tonight with New Mexico United coming to town to do battle with Miami FC. And hello everyone, Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. Lauren Markwith will join us shortly. Ricky, everyone got their feet wet last weekend, but the result was a little bit different than the performance, wasn't it?
And it was very interesting talking to Anthony Pulis this week. He said, look, the first half we got the goal, we got on the score sheet, but the second half our performance was a lot better. You see Florian Valleau doesn't need a second invitation to pull the trigger, but then it was all about the reactive, or lack thereof, I should say. As Zendejas pushes this wide, it's Josef that gets on the end of this. Talking to Anthony Pulis, he's going to say, how do we get that first half scoring goals, the second half performance, and put it all together for 90 minutes?
So it ended in a 1-1 draw. We take a look at the Eastern Conference standings right now. Of course, it's just a game old. A couple teams right now in real time have played a couple of them, but nevertheless, this is how things are broken out after one match.
And obviously early into the season, but you're always going to be having one eye on the table. It's a result-driven business, so you want to grab as many points as you can. Miami FC's second home game at home. Get all 3 points here tonight.
Speaking of getting points, Lauren Markwith with Florian Valleau, the man of the match last week. Lauren, take it away.
Their home match, the second game of the season. What have you guys been focusing on practice to bring in and implement in tonight's match?
Well, it's been trying to build from the last game. I think obviously giving up that goal early after we scored was a big mistake on our part. We're just trying to be more on the game management side of it. Important today is to keep a clean sheet and get those 3 points.
Getting those 3 points, talk to me about the energy. What is the vibe in the locker room right now?
Well, it's important to get like those 2 games at home. I think it's a good way to start the season and hopefully get the maximum points possible. Last week we dropped 2. Hopefully we can get 3 today, and the energy is still like super positive. We're like really looking forward to the season.
And on a personal note, you scored an absolute golazo last weekend, a banger. How does that help your confidence coming into tonight's match?
It's great. It was really special having my family in the stands. They haven't seen me play for 5 years. So obviously it was great. I would have traded that goal for a win, obviously. But kicking the season this way is great.
And I have a personal question for you. Talk to me about your goal celebration. I had a perfect view of it. You have that plan, something you have up your sleeve. What is going through your head in that moment?
No, it was more like those shoes were given to me by my partner, and they mean a lot. And it was kind of dedicated to her, and especially also my parents that were in the stand. So it was just in the moment. I didn't really play anything. I was not expecting to score, so just in the moment.
Well, I loved it. Thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
I'll see if Florian Valleau and company can continue their trend to open up the new campaign. When we come back, we'll get you the starting 11 and first touch. It's New Mexico United, Miami FC coming up next.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah,
Wynwood, Coconut Grove,
Kendall,
Calle Ocho,
Sweetwater,
Homestead,
cortaditos y coladas
empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
I am Latino.
I'm a disruptor.
I am LGBTQ.
I am a villain.
I am a mother.
I am Haitian.
I am an athlete.
I am an activist.
I am a king.
I am American Dream.
I am the future.
I am
AFC.
This broadcast is brought to you by Wheels, Tata 2, and Baptist Health. Temperature's about 79 degrees for the home team, Miami FC. And Ricky, who do we got here tonight?
And obviously you have Bolu Akinyoti coming in. He's going to be the pivot point, the number 6, the destroyer in that middle of the field. But you're going to see Rivas come underneath Murphy, and that's going to give a lot of real estate for Ryan Telfer to work up and down that right-hand side. Salazar had a strong performance last game, so look for him to build on this for New Mexico. And Zach Prince is going to be very fluid in the way that they're going to play. You can see Hamilton push up next to Portillo, Seymour come in, Schwartz drop in, but it all comes out to Portillo. He's going to be the one pulling the strings. You have Santi Moar, Greg, Chris Moreno, the fluidity, and Nava underneath them. They're going to interchange and ask a lot of questions of Miami FC and that back line.
And Portillo was dangerous last season. He had 8 goals for the club and 5 helpers in that season. But for the leader of the pack, Zach Prince, just 34 years of age, he admitted to us earlier in the week that he could have played and continued to play, but elected not to. Decided to coach. This is his 2nd season underway as this match, just the 2nd ever between the 2 squads. New Mexico moving from left to right. Miami FC is going from right to left. Telfer outside. He played a strong opening sequence last week. The full 90 wire to wire. He had a lot of juice from start to finish.
And he's a player that Anthony Pulis is expecting a lot of in the first 15 minutes here. Like I talked about in the open, you're going to see Rivas just by tendency drop underneath Kyle Murphy to play like the true number 10. And what that's going to do is going to give Ryan Telfer all the real estate to work against his outside back.
Now, the one guy that we had talked about at good length last week that we probably expect to get more here tonight is Kyle Murphy, because he had some pretty good chances, just wasn't able to finish.
Yeah, he's just all about the service as well. Anthony Pulis said it first half against that FC Tulsa side. They need to get more numbers in and around him. They live and die with a service, and number 9 is, but you have the freedom to have Bolu Akinyoti come in. That's going to push Florian Velo a bit higher because he doesn't have to realize and work for his defensive responsibilities as much. So expect Kyle Murphy to see a lot more of the ball here today.
And Bolu did not play last week because of a suspension, sustained a red card in the final game of the season last year against Tampa Bay, and because of that, he was out for game number 1. As you see, Amando Moreno for the first time tonight, that foul against him. But nevertheless, Bolu is a guy that you like, and his leadership, style of play, he can do a lot on the pitch.
And you just see eye test. I'm a big eye test guy, and obviously Bolu, he's just a destroyer. He likes to get into challenge. He likes to clog that middle, make it very frustrating for opposition. And I think that was a big piece that was missing last week for Anthony Pulis, so he has to be very pleased to have him back in the starting 11.
All time this matchup, Miami FC 1 up, nothing down. They won last year on August the 7th. 3-0 was the final tally in that one. New Mexico, their first game of this season. Last year they finished with 13 victories. They went 13, 9, and 12. Good for 51 points. They were 5th in the Western Conference, but Zach Prince, he wanted everything and then some, including a home playoff contest, just a point away from doing that. But he knows how critical it is for teams in USL Championship to host a playoff game.
And I think it goes back to what you said earlier, David, saying, look, he had the opportunity to continue playing, but that really tells me he has a finger in the locker room. He knows the pulse. He knows what these players want and what they deserve and how they go about their business. And I think when you have a coach that's so relatable to his team, you're going to see him fight for them. You're going to see that passion come without.
And I thought it was fascinating when we were talking to him earlier this week. He admitted that his roster makeup is eerily similar to Anthony Pulis on the other side, where he could have gotten grade A talent, but nevertheless, he wanted to go with high character players to form his best starting 11, and also the guys coming off the bench.
You just see the talent that they have. I think it all is going to go through this man right here on the ball, Justin Portillo. How quickly can he get acclimated to pull the strings? The player next to him is going to be Hamilton, obviously another player that's very comfortable on the ball, but you go up the field, Greg Hurst, Santi Moar, Moreno, players that can get in behind, can spin, can come to feet, and they're going to have a lot of success playing around the edges with quick movements.
Hamilton, the captain on this squad. Match is just underway. Glad he can be here with us. Comfortable at 79 degrees. There's a foul, and I'd say for the first time tonight, Salazar the guilty party on that. Michael was awfully active last week. Flo below the only goal of the contest against FC Tulsa, and Paco Craig with the helper on it. But an abundance of opportunities in the second half, didn't yield anything in the fruitful column of a goal for Miami FC, so they want to duplicate that second half performance this weekend, but of course put a couple markers on the board. Zach Prince trying to deploy early on a 4-3-3, but he had mentioned that his formation and shape changed throughout the night. Why is that?
Obviously, just look at the profile that he has at his disposal, just building out. You see Hamilton drop in between the center backs. That gives the freedom for Schwartz to push up on that front line, and then you have Portillo, a player that Anthony Pulis is very wary about. Says we need to limit his supplies because he can hurt you in different types of ways.
Shape shifting a bit, Telfer. Back to Aiden Stanley. Bolu. 28 years of age, got a healthy career behind him and in front of him. Time is now, and I got to imagine just being out for one match. He was chomping at the bit to get back out here tonight, especially with a decent layoff, and of course the off season to get yourself prepared for a brand new affair. Played out wide. Salazar near the 18 along with Murphy. Just a little bit behind Aiden Stanley. Telfer again. Telfer trying to make a move against Schwartz. It's a hard challenge and a tackle. He goes down not once, but twice, and the fellas continue to play on. One good turn deserves another. As Moreno goes down, and look at the contact on this sequence.
And it's really good backtracking here from Moreno to help Schwartz deal with Ryan Telfer. Good use of the body, and then he feels any sort of contact, he's always going to go down. A player that's very comfortable on the ball, Armando Moreno. Yeah, it is a foul. We'll see how quickly they can get into rhythm, this New Mexico side. Very interesting. First game of the season. And then you know there's going to be rust. There's going to be kind of those cobwebs that you need to get out. But so far, here's Zach Prince. You have to be extremely pleased with how, in terms of energy, your boys have came out.
Here's Ryden. Ryden from Norman, Oklahoma, over to Schwartz. New Mexico, a different brand of soccer compared to Miami FC. They want to possess an awful lot. If it's any indication of how Miami FC played last week, I gotta imagine they'll handle the bulk of the possession throughout the year against the opposition. Be fascinating to see what they do against the top tiered teams in both the Eastern and Western Conference. Schwartz.
You just see how Miami FC has set up defensively. 4-4-2 in their defensive positioning, but what quickly, when they get possession, they build out with the three, commit a lot of numbers forward. Just that fluidity that Anthony Pulis likes his boys to play with.
Out wide, there's Schwartz again. This one lobbed near the 6. You can see the congestion there. He's packing near Zendejas. Zendejas not challenged a whole lot last week against FC Tulsa. Only saw 3 shots come his way, a couple saves, and one got past him. Josef marker. Schwartz again. Now look out for Christian Nava tonight. Donning number 45 for New Mexico United. Just 19 years of age. A local product from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Schwartz on the opposite side. That header being neutralized defensively by Miami FC. This will result in a corner kick for New Mexico United.
And it's very patient, methodical in the way that New Mexico likes to play, moving the ball from left to right. And then it's Nava pushing out on that top part of your screen, just switches the ball up to Schwartz. And once again, you see Ryan Telfer doing his offensive duties. You're going to see a lot of this from New Mexico. Rotation, the circulation of the ball, and when they spread apart Miami FC, they're going to try to break lines in their passing. That's something that Zach Prince told us, David. He said, we need to break their passing. We need to put their midfield line on their heels more times than not.
all about the pressure. These two teams eerily similar to each other a year ago, separated by only 4 points, although in different conferences. Plenty of contact inside the box. Chapman Page went down, and Chapman Page is one of those players that Zach Prince had actually circled a few players in the defensive end for Miami FC that New Mexico wanted to attack. You think about this, it didn't seem right with Miami FC last week. They didn't have their full arsenal of weapons on the pitch, so a new day, a new chapter, and might get a different light here for Anthony Pulis.
And it's going to be very interesting. When you bring back Bolu, that really gives you that security in front of Paco Craig and Callum Chapman Page. They have that third man, that triangle to play around to maybe provide a bit of cover. Zach Prince was quick to say, look, we want to go at Chapman Page, we want to test the shape of Miami FC, and he was very confident in giving a lot of trust in his players to saying we can break them down through our passing.
Yearwood with a good challenge against Segbers to strip that ball away. Back comes New Mexico on the attack. Segbers was active last week. That 1-1 draw with FC Tulsa. Similar to how Miami FC deployed last week and just tactically moved down the pitch against FC Tulsa. New Mexico trying to do the same here tonight. Watch out for Santi Moar. Had a couple goals last season, 4 assists, was with Phoenix FC in 2021. Had 16 goals that year, so familiarity with lighting things up. That's just a bad pass right there by Portillo. Not on the same page with his running mates, and unforced error there. Looking for Nava. Got some contact here. Into the 12th minute. No major threat on either side just yet. Telfer, he goes down. Get toe tap there, but they continue to play on. Rivas back to Stanley. Now the officials getting together, talking amongst the players. Thomas Snyder, the lead official tonight. Telfer got down. Didn't like the lack of no call.
I think it's going to be a very big challenge for this man, Ryan Telfer and Florian Velo, to do their defensive duties as well. Just the way that New Mexico wants to play in those half spots. Moreno's going to come between lines. Santi Moar, Nava as well. Players that like to have that combination play quick, and that's going to put Miami FC and ask a lot of questions on them to see how their wide players can come back and help Aiden Stanley and Mark Segbers to lock this game down defensively.
We'll see if they can. One thing that Anthony Pulis would love to do with this unit tonight is to continue to play downfield and put everybody for New Mexico on their heels. Easier said than done. Telfer out wide, asking for it. Let's see if he gets it. Rivas goes the opposite way. Salazar. Segbers. Telfer. Perhaps had a crease to split a couple defenders, but Bolo feeds it over to Stanley, left-hand side. He goes down. Contact just outside the 18. This is going to be a delicate spot for New Mexico, and Schwartz doesn't like it. This results in a booking here in the 14th minute.
And just dictating play, Bolo Akinyoti from a deep position as Ryan Telfer comes in centrally. It leaves a lot of space for Aiden Stanley to get into that final third. Cheeky little push over the top and catches Schwartz in no man's land. You can see that trailing leg from the right side back of New Mexico catches Aiden Stanley. Now it's a very dangerous set piece here for Miami FC.
First one of the night for Miami FC. Far and few for them last week. Had a couple corners, but Not too much. FC Tulsa didn't concede a whole lot. They weren't overly aggressive. They were relatively sound on the defensive end, and Miami FC tried picking them apart when they could, but just not a lot to chew on a week ago.
And you have a lot of players from Miami FC just hanging around that 18-yard box. Something to keep an eye out on.
Got 4 of them lurking now. Let's see if anyone can do damage. Velo is there, and along with Rivas. Let's see who takes this free kick. And it will be Rivas. Crossing it in, headed away. Salazar, though, on the recovery. Segbers. Now a chance for Miami FC to recollect and see if they could force anything else against New Mexico as Velo goes down. Oh, they got another booking here in the 15th minute. That one's going to be against Christian Nava. So we mentioned the 19-year-old just a couple moments ago, and now he's in the book.
Just about managing your emotions. Obviously, first game of the season for this New Mexico side, you can see comes extremely late over the top of Florian Velo. That needs to be very careful, the youngster, in his defensive positioning, the disciplines, and the challenges that he decides to go into.
So 2 yellow cards early on. Take a look now at our injury report brought to you by Baptist Health. Who's in, who's out. Always a good sign for Miami FC if you don't have any players in the injury report. Sergio Rivas expected to be back in a week or 2. That's according to his head coach, Zach Prince.
And he's a big part of New Mexico, what they do going forward. So if you're a New Mexico fan, you have to be extremely pleased to see when he's going to be back on the field.
It's one of the things that Zach Prince had mentioned to us. He felt great about this group coming into tonight's contest, and the biggest reason why was because they were relatively healthy. Not many programs can say that. But nevertheless, outside of Rivas, relatively clean group. Velo on the approach. Working awfully wide here. Salazar. See if he can speed things up into the box. Tambakis, his first touch of the night. Alex was strong last year for New Mexico. He had 30 starts, 30 appearances, 69 saves, and 7 clean sheets. He was actually named New Mexico Defensive Player of the Year. So what you'd expect from a goalkeeper that keeps the ball out of his net. Different type of pace tonight between the 2 squads. Ricky, was almost like last week Miami had a sort of track meet, if you will, for long stretches against FC Tulsa, but tonight you can see the tactical, methodical approach between both squads.
It's just not the makeup of New Mexico. They want to have the ball, they want to have possess and break lines through their passing. And it's very interesting just the way that they build out, much like Miami FC, defend one way, attack another way.
Schwartz.
You just see how expansive Zach Prince wants his boys to play. And what that's going to do is going to make players like Ryan Telford do their defensive duties. And once they get to that final third, you're going to have a lot of numbers in and around that 18-yard box, whether it's through a combination play or dumping balls into dangerous situations. So if you're Miami FC, that back line, Paco Craig, Callum Chapman-Page, need to have a lot of communication, not only with their outside backs, but Akinyoti and Florian Velo to play that security blanket right in front of them.
Play as a unit, and just some miscommunication there again. Nava not on the same page, and that turnover as he gives it away. So he was looking for Moreno, but no less than the 19-year-old on the bad end of that. Send it over to Lauren Markwith. Lauren, for the first time tonight, hello to you.
Hi guys, well I am pitch side here and it is a beautiful night for some soccer. It is getting physical, the intensity is picking up from both sides. We had a yellow card just handed out, and I can hear Coach Polis talking to his team. Earlier this week he said he really wanted his team to focus on transition play, and that is exactly what they're doing tonight, and that's how they got the first free kick in around the 15th minute. So like I said, the intensity is heating up. Another foul just committed, a free kick. It's getting spicy out here.
Appreciate it, Lauren. Lauren will be with us all season long. And as Lauren had just mentioned, was Zendejas getting rid of that, and Bolu, a little dangerous spot.
You can just see how New Mexico wants to be proactive in their pressing. Zendejas is going to want to put this one up and away. Instead, he goes right down the middle. Justin Portillo is quicker than Bolu Akinyoti, gets in the book, and now very dangerous set piece with the player like Portillo on the ball.
It's an unfortunate spot now for Bolu just because this occurs in the 19th minute. Got a whole lot of action left. Might need to err on the side of caution. Portillo, line drive, strike. I'll tell you what, that thing looked like a pebble skipping through a lake. And Zendejas is fortunate enough there. He didn't have a great read on it.
And you talk around the league, Justin Portillo's technique is up there with anyone in USL. Can hit it with the knuckleball, trying to maybe get a deflection or just whip this one in. But he's a player much like Florin Velo. And he gets that ball around 25 yards. He's not going to need that second invitation to test a goalkeeper.
Quick restart after the foul from Hamilton. Telfer. See New Mexico just harassing Telfer. This cross, though, really high, but Salazar, tell you what, Tambakis is there. Salazar lurking, though, on that weak side. It's a great effort, though, from Telfer. So a couple of dangerous moments here for Miami FC. Velo scored in the 24th minute last week. Not a whole lot of action the second half for Miami FC against FC Tulsa. Now Moar is going to let one of his teammates throw it in. Wasn't really a surprise, but Miami FC last week out shooting FC Tulsa. Zendejas slaps that one away at the last second. Tonight, though, New Mexico more on the ball than the home team is, at least for the first 20 minutes plus. Bolu. Rivas had some space in the middle of the pitch, just didn't get it. Schwartzel had that one out. And Murphy was looking for it. Telfer. Not sure how he kept that in bounds. A bunch of players looking the same way.
It's the second time Paco Craig's trying to hit that home run ball instead of just playing simple. Connect your passes, play methodically through lines. What that does, when you're on the ball, you want to be expansive. You want to open up your opponent, and that leaves you very vulnerable in terms of turnover. So he needs to be very sure once he's playing that ball, especially square out of the back, that he's connecting his passes. And he's a player, Colin Murphy, that we need to get more involved for Miami FC. Almost no touches. First 25 minutes in, Seymour comes to the back of him.
Early foul for him, but yeah, Murphy hasn't had a lot of touches just yet. That could quickly change, though, in a moment's notice. Telfer. A little bit too strong on that, taken away at the last second by Hamilton. Moreno up to midfield. Plenty of contact there as Nava went down. Bolo didn't take him down, though. Here's Salazar. Okay, this is match number 1 for New Mexico, but number 2 for Miami FC. Both teams qualified for the postseason a year ago. Sacramento Republic defeated New Mexico 2-0 in their opening round. Doing that in Northern California. Zach Prince hoping to get a home playoff game this year back in Albuquerque.
And in matchups to keep your eye on is Ryan Telford and Schwartz on your near side of your screen. Schwartz already on the yellow card. Ryan Telford going to take him on 1v1.
Rivas trying to explore. I'm just reading my mind too, Ricky. It looks like a pretty good chess match early on. It's like they're trying to get underneath each other's skin.
And you love to see it from Ryan Telford. He knows he's at the advantage. Any way he gets by him, Schwartz has to let him go, or he's going to see himself in the book once again. But now you're starting to see New Mexico double down once Ryan Telford gets the ball. And something defending together, helping your teammates out. As your right back has a yellow card so early in this game, it really changed the dynamic in terms of rotation to cover for each other.
Well, one thing drastically different from a week ago is New Mexico is all over Miami FC as soon as they gained possession. Where FC Tulsa played a little bit more back, waited.
Zach Prince just wants to play proactive and progressive, able to turn their defensive efforts into attacking opportunities, trying to win the ball up higher up the field. And rightly so. You just see the players that he has at disposal. St. Timor, we talked about the year that he had 2 years ago with Phoenix Rising. Greg Hurst coming up from League One. Manu Moreno doing extremely well in the New York Red Bull organization. And then you have Nava, the youngster. The skill is so slippery in and around that 18-yard box. And then you have the two players, Portillo, Hamilton, pulling the strings from deep. An embarrassment of riches for Zach Prince.
One of the major bright spots for New Mexico last season, besides their record, is what they did on the road. They were 7-3-7 last year on the road. And you know this, Ricky, covering USL, covering the MLS, covering CONCACAF, doing a lot of these different leagues and teams. If you can win on the road, you're a real threat to win it all.
And it's so difficult. You see teams that are at the end of the season that have hardware, they get it done on the road, and that's difficult. Obviously, Zach Prince has done it, so trying to keep that going for 2023.
Telfer taking some body contact. Segbers switching angles there with Velo, tries to chip it to him. Trying to get on the same page. That'll result in a corner kick for Miami FC. First one of the night, and it's going to be presented by Baptist Health. As you see Anthony Pulis.
He's going to want Mark Segbers to get more involved in that final third. Attack-minded right side back, very quick around the edges, but it's a good movement as he comes centrally, Florian Below coming around the corner to win a very dangerous set piece.
Anthony's certainly not frustrated with the performance last week. Thought his club brought good energy to the party. But he did say to a man that his club, once they got in the locker room, felt like they gave away 2 points. It's early on. Salazar couldn't find the mark. And that, you know, although it's game number 1, you didn't get 3 points, it is encouraging to know that your team's confident enough not to be down, but to know we had a game. We didn't get the 3 points, but nevertheless, we know that we're capable of it.
You just look at that second half, it'd be a bigger problem if they didn't make those chances. They didn't create chances, goal-scoring opportunities. Putting the ball in the back of the net is going to come as the season goes on. It's the hardest thing to do in football. So don't expect it from game 1 that you're going to score 3, 4, 5 goals right off the whistle. But having the ability just to get into that final third is bright spots for Anthony Pulis.
And to put a button on that, Miami FC outshot FC Tulsa last week in the second half, 16-8, 7-3 on target. Bolu and lead official tonight, Thomas Snyder, exchanging some words.
For rates and availability, call 844-MIAMI-FC.
Michael Salazar had the one good threat here in the first half for Miami FC. It was a header that went on target. Tambakis able to see it in all the way. So to that, nothing doing on either side of the pitch so far. Schwartz eluding two different defenders. Got around Telfer and Bolu. Trying to create. Moreno. Man to get it back. And now here's Hamilton. Hamilton from Evergreen, Colorado. Drafted 15th overall by the Colorado Rapids all the way back in 2017. Many moons ago. Here's Schwartz. Schwartz with that chip. Stanley got a piece of it. That'll result in a corner kick now for New Mexico.
And once again, you see Schwartz pushing on a line higher, and what that does, that gives Moreno the ability to come in and play underneath that pocket. Hamilton is the one that's a pivot to go out the other way. So many moving parts, the way that Zach Prince likes to have his team play in the attacking phase of the game.
We'll see how Portillo manages this corner kick. Second one of the night for New Mexico. Portillo previously with Real Monarchs prior to going to New Mexico. That header volleyed around. Zendejas is there walking on the goal line. Zendejas, first match last week, conceding one goal off a rebound. Product from San Diego, California. Currently on loan from Charlotte FC.
You can see Miami FC having a very difficult time dealing with the initial press from New Mexico. And what that's going to be, you need to get Kyle Murphy involved. As this ball comes to the left-hand side, he can't be hanging around that far-sided center back. He needs to be a pivot point, an angle to play into the feet of. And once he gets on the ball, secondary movements need to happen.
Moreno out to Schwartz. Stanley trying to mirror him. Schwartz with good positioning there, broken up at the last second. Here's Hamilton. Paco Craig cleaning things up near Zendejas. Paco as reliable as one can be on the back line for Anthony Pulis. Nice play there by Salazar to get a foot in the way. Yearwood trying to create. Now, does that elicit much frustration, though, with the way that New Mexico is playing against Miami FC?
I just think if you turn them over, you have to take care of the ball. They're not going to give you the ball cheaply with the playmakers that they have, especially in deep lying positions. 1v1 between Santi Moar, Armando Moreno, Christian Nava. So if you get on the ball, if you're Bolu Akinyuti, Ryan Telfer, Florian Velo, you have to take care of it. Too many times you're trying to force the ball in to break the press. It comes back the other way with New Mexico. Circulate the ball and try to beat the press. Get Kyle Murphy involved. Get Joaquin Rivas involved as well. Players that we haven't seen in this first half.
Portillo bends this one in, but Zendejas is there. If you're big on analytics, you can't pay attention to this match at all. There's been all of one shot in this affair. On target anyway, 4 combined, but neither team is even coming close to one expected goal.
Just gives you a kind of a chess match feel. Trying to see which one is going to flinch first. Kind of feel each other out, both of these teams so far. And it's the right idea here for Meriden Stanley. We need to play this ball into feet. You can see Joaquin Rivas all over the back of Seymour. You play him to feet, he's able to hold it up, spin off, and go out the other way. It's something that Miami FC needs to work on, needs to get a bit better into breaking their initial press of their opposition.
I haven't seen too many stretch passes to widen that gap from the middle of the pitch to the attacking third for Miami FC. But with this being the opening contest for New Mexico, we'll check and see as this night goes along how the cardiovascular endurance is. Legs can get weary and fatigue could settle in, but of course Zach Prince feels awfully comfortable with his bench. Won't be afraid to go to it. Anthony Pulis the same, but he wants to use those weapons when the time is right, and preferably with an advantage. Portillo rather faint on that pass. Stanley was there to break it up.
And as they're very patient in their build-up, New Mexico is, you have to give credit. Miami FC extremely disciplined in their defensive positioning, not giving their opposition anything easy. The rotation between Aiden Stanley and Ryan Telfer on this left-hand side has been top class. One goes, one provides cover, never caught on the same playing field. It's really frustrating, that man right here so far, 36 minutes into this match.
See Zach Prince right there, just 34 years of age, got into coaching at the ripe old age of 30. He said he was on that acceleration path too as soon as he got out of his playing days. In fact, he mentioned to us that he was offered his biggest professional contract ever and said no to it because he knew he wanted to coach and he wanted to do it right away. But he felt like he had a good support staff. Able to go to an awful lot of clinics during the offseason. Nice move here by Bolu. Possible attack with Murphy, just can't get to it in time.
I think he makes the wrong decision. In the end, Mark Segbers, as he skips away from a couple New Mexico players, he picks his head up. You have a lot of real estate on this left-hand side. This is the situation where you want him. Maybe rather fortunate with the little bobble here. He tries to force this ball into the path of Kyle Murphy. Here's Ryan Telfer on this left-hand side, but give credit to Kalen Ryland. Top class in terms of his positioning defensively.
Those chances have been far and few so far for Miami FC, and this is about a mile offside from Moreno, and it's finally whistled and blown dead. That's what you'd call a pregnant pause in that. But Moreno trying to be awfully ambitious with the hope no official would see that. Offside by about 5 feet. So a decent amount of physicality in this opening half. New Mexico had back-to-back yellow cards early on. Bolu picked up one, did so in the 19th minute for Miami FC. Well, the energy's certainly been there, just not a lot of fireworks just yet. Pick of the pocket by Telfer. Telfer walking that sideline. As he goes down, officials don't see anything of it. Anthony Pulis awfully hot there. If anyone's got a good angle on it, Pulis does. Moreno again looked to be offside. That shot goes rolling into Zane Diaz. Telfer looks to be okay. Back to this sequence, though.
I think there is an argument to be had if you're Miami FC. Obviously, he does not agree with the call. I think Justin Portillo catches Ryan Telfer extremely late. I think he gets away with him, the center midfielder from New Mexico.
No hometown calls influencing the officials tonight so far.
Seem like they're lacking ideas so far. Miami FC. It's been all down this left-hand side between Ryan Telfer taking his players 1v1, 1v2. Haven't really said much of Salazar, Florian Velo even. Joaquin Rivas, players that you need to get on the ball a bit more. If you're Anthony Pulis playing in between lines, give credit to New Mexico, have a game plan, have stuck to it, making everything extremely compact in the defensive side of the game.
That's one thing that Anthony Pulis had mentioned to us earlier in the week, though, that he felt like the opening half against FC Tulsa, the one thing that he wished he could have gotten back was the ability of his club to make crisp, clean passes. And the second half, they did that. See if that is more the same here tonight.
I think there's obviously also a lack of movement, pulling players out of position, whether it's that man right there, Rivas, and Callum Murphy, just playing that game of cat and mouse with those center backs. If Callum Murphy comes to feet, Rivas is the one testing the shape going in behind, and vice versa. We haven't seen much of that at all.
Salazar here with the foul. He doesn't like the call. Michael Sanhumi.
He just backs in to Yearwood. I don't think there's much in there.
Looked like Yearwood was going for a ride, but Salazar wasn't feeling obligated to pull him anywhere. See Segber's giving the business to Nava. 7-year age difference, and you can pull that kind of trick. Segber's got away with it. At the end of the first half here tonight. Shots so far in this contest. 2 for Miami FC, 3 of them for New Mexico. A couple on target for New Mexico, just the one lonesome one for Salazar and Miami FC. The challenge there is Telfer had gone down. Salazar and Murphy, 2 on 5, 2 on 6. Salazar with the strike. Segber's will settle things down.
You just see there's just no options going forward. It's Salazar and Kyle Murphy, 2v4. That's far too slow for Miami FC once again. And it results in Salazar trying to pull the trigger from about 25 yards, a low percentage shot. Again, it has to be frustrating for Anthony Pulis. 42 minutes into this game, haven't really seen any glimpses of their attacking potential.
Yeah, it just feels like rush hour on the 95 freeway. Tons of traffic and nowhere to go. But Zach Prince, the head coach in New Mexico, he did say he wanted to make sure that he limited Miami FC to how they play out wide, the angles that they approach and attack with. Because he knows how dangerous a guy like Telfer can be. With Murphy trailing. First time we get a good look at Greg Hurst tonight. From Stirling, Scotland. Also played with Phoenix Rising FC last year. Not a lot of new faces for New Mexico, which is always a good sign, especially if you want to build on some continuity from a season ago. Not a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. Characterized as a tight-knit group and focused and trying to take that next step. Something they need to have, like many clubs that did not win the USL Championship a season ago, just more consistency. Salazar with some good positioning as Moar. Moar wanted it back. The one thing with Miami FC tonight, not being broken down defensively. Some Dejas coming out. and he'll sit on it.
The one thing Anthony Pulis can take from this first half, like you alluded to, David, just how defensive-minded they've been in discipline, positioning, cover for each other. Their communication has been top class, especially in the middle field. Just such a difference when you have a ball winner like Akinyote that thinks offensively first. Passing players on, clogging down the middle, not giving any sort of passing lanes for New Mexico to break you vertically.
Bolu gave it away. This could have spelled trouble for Miami FC, but a random carom. We're near the end of the first half. I imagine we'll probably have a couple of minutes of stoppage time, just based on the flow of this first half. Been good movement.
Attention, please. The fourth official has indicated there'll be 2 minutes of
There you go, 2 minutes of stoppage time. Moar. Portillo. Portillo wanted to take a shot there. Hamilton with one quick touch. One quickly removed. Salazar.
And it's better from Kyle Murphy, providing that support system, just a focal point to play off of as he holds it up. Now you can just see Miami FC setting their attacking phase of the game. When you have a number 9 that wants to drop in, that wants to provide that support system, just makes a world of difference when dealing with the initial press.
And that one came awfully close to crossing the goal line. Let's see if that is a corner kick. Schwartz eating it right there. Schwartz and Telford colliding on that last play. Take a look at the sequence.
He's had a very busy half. Schwartz on this right-hand side. We've seen him mostly throughout his career as a right midfielder, but he drops in. The versatility as he catches a follow-through from Ryan Telford seems to be okay.
And that'll set things up for a Baptist Health corner kick for Miami FC. Just the second one tonight. Closing moments of this first half. We'll see if it can provide any fruit. See Craig and Murphy and company. About 5 players from Miami FC lurking there inside the box. This one delivered a little strong. Batter around the last second. And Bacchus hit the deck.
As Tim Bacchus comes off his line extremely confident. He knows there's going to be contact. Callum Chapman-Page catches the underneath of the goalkeeper.
That's about it. I mean, not a whole lot to write home about. But nevertheless, if you're a Miami FC fan, you feel comfortable with what you did defensively. But on the other end of things, what you mentioned and alluded to earlier, it's about being creative and can they do something else different in the second half?
It just seems like they're just trying to figure each other out. This game has been stuck in first gear. So if you're if you're looking at the second half, you need one of your special players to step up and make the difference.
3 shots for each team in the first half. 45 minutes in the books here from Ricardo Silva Stadium. Miami FC, New Mexico United are scoreless. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Macron Halftime Report. Miami FC, New Mexico United. All zeros right now. Scores at the end of 45 minutes of play. And right now, take a look at Miami FC's upcoming schedule and what is on tap for us, Ricky.
And obviously, you go to Pittsburgh Riverhounds. What is this side going to look like on the road? We've had 2 games at home, but now you're taking Bob Lilly's side. You have Memphis here at Tampa Bay. That's going to be a very special one for Anthony Pulis and the boys. And then you welcome Detroit and Las Vegas. Look, you're playing 2 games away from home, so it's going to be the first time you're on a road. What does the travel look like? What is the meal, the game day prep? But you have to pick up points at home against Memphis, against Detroit, and against Las Vegas.
And for New Mexico United, the next 5 on their menu.
And for Zach Prince, they're going to be, like you said, David, chomping at the bit. First game of the season, they go to Oakland. Not an easy thing to do. Monterey Bay, talk about fireworks, their first game, and at Colorado Springs Switchbucks. So it's a lot of travel for Zach Prince. But then you're playing against San Diego Loyal and Orange County, 2 teams that I think have been flying under the radar, if that's even possible, for that Western Conference. San Diego just bringing in Ronaldo Damus, and then Orange County, I think Richard Chappell is going to have that team surprise a lot of teams in 2023.
4 teams from California amongst their first 5. They are sky high. We're not just yet. We're at elevation as it stands. Miami FC, New Mexico United. End of the first half, they are scoreless. We'll be back.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
Stats and highlights are right around the corner. They might be coming into the ballpark, but we are already here. Miami FC, New Mexico United, just the second match of the season for the home team, and right now it is scoreless. More to come on the other side.
Get ready to wave the flags. Get ready to bang the drums. Get ready to light the smoke. Get ready to shine.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
ready to wave the flags. Get ready to bang the drums. Get ready to light the smoke. Get ready to shine.
Back here at the half right now, no score between Miami FC and New Mexico United. Second ever endeavor between the two squads. Take a look at the news and notes that we have prepared nicely, eloquently, succinctly here in the USL Championship. Ricky, what do we got?
Josh Winder, what can't this kid do? Obviously, a bright spot for the USL Championship, well-deserved U.S. men's national team under 20s call-up, and then transfer news. Indy 11, Douglas Martinez going over there from Sacramento Republic. Mark Lowry has his fingerprints all over this offseason. What does that look like for Mark Lowry going forward? They pick up a point at Al Lang, and then obviously USL Championship on ESPN. Lou City will host Miami FC. Lynn Family Stadium is going to be rocking. What a matchup that is on May 13th.
You gonna be rocking a three-piece suit in that contest or what?
Only if you are.
Fair enough. USL Championship on ESPN2 as we look at the upcoming schedule as well for tonight and tomorrow.
And obviously you see so much competition in this season. Orange County taking care of Tampa Bay Rowdies. Monterey Bay, what a first game on the Frank Yallop. Obviously, Danny Cruz and company going again to California. Loudoun surprised a lot of people, picking up 3 points at Memphis. They host the reigning champions. And then Sacramento Republic, welcome to Charleston Battery, El Paso, Detroit. So much to pick from. If you're a USL fan, you have to tune into all of these games.
Yeah, a lot to chew on too, especially on ESPN+. Monterey Bay FC, Louisville City FC tonight. Alex Dixon with a hat trick in the first half of last week. But tonight, no goals so far in the first 45 minutes of play. Miami FC, New Mexico United back on the pitch right now, warming themselves up. Second half action. We'll see if there's anything doing. Next 45 coming up next. This broadcast is brought to you by Wheels, Macron, and Lexus. Highlights. Ricky, 45 minutes in the books. What do we have in the first half?
You know, it's much like a chess match. No team really getting out into second gear, really feeling each other out. But that tells you one thing. Both of these coaches have done their homework. But both of these coaches want their special players to step up, whether it's going to be on the front line from New Mexico, Santi Moar, Greg Hurst, Armando Morano, players that can change this game in a drop of a hat. But the bright spot for Miami FC was Ryan Telfer, asking questions of Swartz on this left-hand side, getting him in trouble. But it was that battle going back and forth. You saw New Mexico try to adapt, try to double down on this right-hand side to help the right back get involved. And then we just saw Justin Portillo, dead ball situation, just whipping balls into dangerous situations, but really nothing came of it. If you're Zach Prince, if you're Anthony Pulis, you're telling your team, look, defensively we're sound, but now we got to get that second phase of the game going, which is the attacking phase of that game.
All right, so we take a look at the numbers now in this first half of action. Now that things have expired, your first half stats brought to you by Takes. And to reiterate what you just mentioned, it's about unlocking a couple different things, but the numbers don't jump out at you. What does, though, is you can certainly see Telfer for Miami FC, Portillo for New Mexico. They've been on the ball a lot.
And those are probably the two brightest spots for their respective clubs. But obviously, most of this game has been played in that middle third, really just circulating the ball from right to left, left to right. No team has really found the opportunity to play vertical, to break lines, and really test the shape of the opposition. If you're in the second half, which player is going to step up? Which player is going to take it upon himself to say, I need to produce a bit of magic to unlock this game?
Would you make any changes if you're either head coach?
No, I would just get into the boys at halftime, say, look, we need a better reaction in terms of his quality. Get into that final third. We're doing extremely well, but once we get to that final third, ideas need to come. Movement, playing combination play, pulling players out of position.
A little bit of physicality, but not a whole lot. Second half is underway. New Mexico right to left. Miami FC going from left to right. We'll see at the tail of the tape in the second half mimics what happened last week with Miami FC and FC Tulsa. Match that ended in a 1-1 draw, but Miami FC out shooting the opposition 16-7. This one hooking and curling away from Zendejas. Otherwise, that would have been dangerous, as Yearwood, who was active on the defensive end in the opening half, trying to insert himself offensively here tonight.
And once again, you can see the New Mexico press trying to force a turnover in their attacking phase for Miami FC.
Trying to do as much as they can in limited space. More about being suffocating if you're New Mexico. And credit to how they prepared. And of course, they do have the one luxury of watching tape on Miami FC from a week ago, where Miami FC doesn't have the same opportunity. New Mexico only been a part of the USL Championship since 2019. A strong start to that year, where they went 3-0-4 in their first 7 matches of the year. Miami FC in their 4th campaign, USL Championship. And Anthony Pulis in his 2nd year leading the group. Well, they added 10 players in the offseason and retained 14. And rumor has it, Ricky, you could have been amongst those a couple seasons ago on the pitch donning the Miami FC kits. But you're familiar with a lot of the guys playing tonight and throughout USL Championship.
On both sides of the ball, obviously, Justin Portillo, Kalen Ryland in the Real Salt Lake Academy organization as well. I was a part of that when they won USL Cup a couple years ago. Just so much talent on display here. If you're a USL fan, you have to be extremely pleased to see this cross-conference so early in the season. It's gonna be a luxury.
Yeah, talk about a bonus feature where you can make those cross-country trips. And for the fans, whether they're on the West Coast, the East Coast, they can enjoy it at all times of the day. And fans do have an opportunity to chime in as the season goes along. Flo Velo was a candidate early on for goal of the week. He was a candidate. His first goal of the season in game number 1 was an absolute bullet. And while we got a moment, Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.selectsportamerica.com for the latest Select products, specials, and so much more. Select, player's choice. Yearwood. Santino Moar active in the opening half. Didn't do much damage outside the 18. Velo got beat there by Nava. But there's an opportunity for Telfer to get out of harm's way, and he does. Oh, wow, that's a big call going against Telfer, and he's got a valid reason to argue against it.
And as Sam Hamilton shifts out to his right-hand side, Ryan Telfer knows he has him for pace. As he gets a better body position, don't know there's much in there. You can just see the frustration from the winger for Miami FC, and rightly so. I think Sam Hamilton goes down extremely easy. But nonetheless, a very dangerous set piece whenever Justin Portillo is on the ball to whip this ball in, aiming for right around that penalty mark.
And that looked like a perfectly executed swim move by Telfer. But nevertheless, that went against him. Let's see how Portillo delivers, assuming it is him or Nava. Chapman Page having a good laugh right now. Don't know the conversation with Hamilton and lead official Thomas Snyder, but gotta imagine it's not exchanging Facebook handles at this moment in time. Ooh, that was awfully close. Moore thought it was a handball. And Bolu go back to the luxury replay here.
And as Santi Moore decides to hit it one time, it does hit Bolu's trailing left arm, but it's just so close. There's no time for Bolu to make himself in a natural position. Yes, it hits his hand, but that's that gray area for the referee to decide, is it ball to hand, hand to ball? No, he doesn't make himself bigger, but it's a good on Santi Moore to decide to hit that first time. When you hit it first time, it's a nightmare to defend, really puts pressure on that back line that's already retreating towards our goal line.
Uncomfortable spot. This one played long. That header on a Zendejas, not a lot of steam on it. Zendejas quickly on the restart. See if this does inspire the home team. Velo got taken down. Velo appears to be okay. Seymour got a good chunk of meat on him.
And you just see the defensive responsibility from New Mexico. Once that ball was thrown out from Zendejas, there's 5 players in yellow surrounding Florian Velo versus only 1 player from Miami FC making that vertical run, which is Joaquin Rivas. You commit a lot more numbers forward if you're Miami FC in the second half.
Yeah, that transition game was really fast for New Mexico. Nava again.
And something that's really stood out to me about the Zach Prince side is just how organized they are. You can see in terms of possession, the spacing between players, 10, 15 yards between every single player, trying to play off the shoulder, breaking lines, playing in pockets of space, making it very difficult to defend. And defensively, they have a clear identity, want to compact things, make things extremely frustrated for the opposition. It's very rare to see that first game of the season that their whole team, their whole collective unit is on the same page.
Certainly prepared. Salazar bottled up. Salazar doing some good positioning there with Yearwood and Portillo there to back him up. That was a dead giveaway to Stanley. The back and forth turnovers continue. Moore. Not wide to Nava. Moore searching for it. Hamilton switches and goes out wide. More the same tune from the first half. It is carried over into the second. Yearwood. Now Mora with some space. Transition game's been better. Mora, that shot on goals, and Dejas a little bit of trouble collecting it. The one hopper, and Moar screaming to the skies.
Well, those are the pockets of space that you want Santi Moore to pick up the ball. As he finds a little pocket of space, about 5 yards, pulls his trigger as it skips off the deck right in front of Zendejas. A fairly simple save for the veteran goalkeeper for Miami FC.
Into the 55th minute. No substitutions just yet from either side. We'll see if there's a wrinkle thrown in by either head coach, but Miami FC searching for the right kind of force to put New Mexico on edge.
Once again, you just see the rotation. Swartz puts up on that top line. Sam Hamilton drops underneath, and then you have that run from the interior. Greg Hurst, really top-class, high-level football from New Mexico in terms of playing off of each other.
Yeah, Hurst had a touch on it for a moment. Telfer with a careful challenge there. Not wide. Murphy, that pass way too strong, coming off the foot of Rivas. Sent it down to Lauren Markworth, and Lauren was busy in the first half with Flo below, and see what she's got here in the second. Lauren, what do you got?
The second half is fully underway, and you can hear Coach Polis telling his team to connect, telling his team to keep the ball. Miami FC needs more chances on goal, needs more opportunities, and you can hear Coach Polis telling his team, telling Tolfer to drive, take the 1v1, take on a defender, and get a cross off.
Unforced error right there. See the body position in New Mexico forcing that issue. Moore again with the lane, held back on it. Hamilton out wide. Schwartz and Hamilton, a little two-man game here. Good heads-up play for Velo, jumping into it defensively. Salazar. Rivas now waiting for reinforcements. Stanley out wide. Murphy inside the box. That attempt nearly got to him. Telfer a little ambitious on it.
And just going off of what Lauren just mentioned, in those situations, if you're Ryan Telfer, you know your opposition has a yellow card, and Swartz, go after him. Ask questions of him, take it 1v1, make him make a decision, the challenge that he decides to go into. He likes to try to play a ball across. And you have another attacking phase for Miami FC that does not come to fruition.
Paco Craig looking on with Anthony Pulis. Plenty of questions, not enough answers yet. It's not like, to your point too, Rick, it's not like they need to play hero ball, but the challenge of going right at the opposition hasn't been as frequent as we thought it would be.
It's been a very easy day for the two center backs for New Mexico. Here's an opportunity here.
3-on-2 for New Mexico if they hurry, possible 4-on-2, but a great play on the breakup at the last second by Chapman Page.
What a fantastic tackle. He needs to get it right as he goes down an open field, just picks a pocket of Moreno. Brilliant defensive effort from Chapman Page.
For as much action as we've had so far, that might be the highlight of the night. That's a do-or-die moment for Chapman Page and Miami FC. If he doesn't come up with that ball, that is a 4-on-1 helpless attack against Zendejas. Schwartz, Moreno. Schwartz again to Hamilton this time. Hamilton had Craig barking at his backside. Yearwood. One thing with Miami FC's defense tonight has not been fragile at all. More, a little backspin on it. Stays away. Portillo with that strike. It was blocked on the way through. Craig got a head on it. Go back to that challenge moments ago from Chapman Page, Ricky.
And Moreno has just so many options. On his right-hand side, he has Greg Hurst, and he has Santi Moore on the left-hand side. Chapman Page decides to step off his line. It's a massive gamble that pays off for the center back. Brilliant individual defending from that man, Chapman Page.
Wiping away an opportunity for the visitors. And now you got Portillo here in this corner. 61st minute. Expect a few substitutions shortly. Portillo. That corner didn't materialize to their liking. More. Trying to go the long way. Broken up again. Was there for a moment. And now he'll have to retreat. And Bacchus comes out of his net. Tactically, much has not changed from either side, but it does look like New Mexico has been more on the ball here in the second half.
And once again, if you're New Mexico United, no one's really running in behind, pulling apart a Miami FC back line. It's been all in front of Miami FC, what makes it very easy just for the defensive unit to shift over. For both sides, you need players to test the shape vertically in terms of pulling players out of position, open up gaps for each other.
Murphy, touch passing, but again, he's on the retreat. Velo just ran out of real estate, but he earned himself an extra possession here. And our first substitutions of the night brought to you by Lexus. Claudio Repetto coming in for the first sub of this match for either squad. It's one of the questions you had asked Anthony Pulis this week about the jump and the lift that Claudio gave the club. Final 10, 15 minutes of that match last week against FC Tulsa. Hit some spring in his game.
And he's just a true number 9, very comfortable playing with his back to goal. Now it's a big emphasis, whether it's Sorso, whether it's Ben Mines. They're going to be the ones that's going to run in behind, that's going to have that vertical running. So now it gives you a bit of a different dynamic going forward for Anthony Pulis. Your number 9 is going to want the ball to feet versus Kyle Murphy, who was able to spin in behind and use his pace and hard work But now you've Ben Mines and Sorto, your first mind has to be, how do I get in behind of this New Mexico back line?
Christian Sorto also in for Rivas. So Rivas' night is over with.
Just wasn't clicking for that original front three from Miami FC. Just too stagnant, too predictable, not playing with enough tempo for Anthony Pulis. But you have to be extremely pleased for these players to come in and have the talent as well that he has on the bench.
I think the biggest word of the night that you said was easy. That's a glaring word in a match like this. It's been easy for that back line in New Mexico.
The back four haven't rarely been tested, much like I just mentioned for Miami FC. Everything has been in front. Just communication, rotation, not really worried about the ball in behind.
Segbers. Benjamin Mines also in. Mines donning number 20 for Miami FC. Telfer looking for some real estate and a mulligan. Bolu. Repetto. Repetto doesn't need a big window to shoot. Segbers on the approach. That one, good intentions. And a threat from just outside by Bolu, that left foot. Not on target. That one goes in. And an easy stop from Tambakis as Velo, who scored nearly from that same spot a week ago, not fortunate enough here.
And as this ball pops out to Velo, hits it with his least preferred left foot, but puts it, laces through the ball, head down, right at Tambakis. You just feel the impact that the substitutions have made already, about 2 minutes in, whether it's for Repetto, Ben Mines, Christian Sorto.
Well, one thing was apparent last week was the subs reinvigorated that kind of enthusiasm from the opening onset with the club. And it appears to be that way, at least for the first couple minutes here in the second half. Hamilton. Schwartz. Hamilton a lot more assertive here in the second half than in the first. Yearwood. Moving things around for Moar. Nice play at the last second to break that one up as Moar trying to turn the corner. The Mines would not allow it. '66th minute. Fans, don't miss a minute of the action here in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catching every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home of USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and much, much more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Second half been moving at the same pace as the first half.
And so far, the right back for New Mexico, Schwartz, has been top class in terms of playing with the yellow card. Not an easy task going against a powerful and pacey, tricky Ryan Telfer. But so far, he's closed him down. Not really gotten into any trouble in terms of the challenges that he's gone into.
Yeah, Schwartz, I mean, he's been challenged on several occasions, but never put under duress like you anticipate after picking up a yellow card. Watch out here, shot from just outside the 18 by Sorto, blocked on the way through. Telfer with some space. Segbers. Velo again, just misses. 68th minute. Probably the best opportunity of the night for either side.
And it's really unselfish here. From Telford to play it off to Segberts, and then he does a little twirl around, is into the feet of Falo. And as this ball's coming across his body, you can just see he pulls it. You want to let it come across a bit more. That gives you a better angle to put it on target. We saw it last week. He has the ability to put this on target and rope it into the top corner. But again, you just see Miami FC starting to get in a rhythm the last couple minutes, trying to find their groove in and around that 18-yard box.
Corner kick brought to you by Baptist Health. One off the heel, it looked like, of Ryden. So here's below. Repetto there, Repetto and Sorto. Maybe a bit of a reprieve here on that attempt from Velo.
It's another Miami FC corner kick.
Working quickly on this side of things, and that is a bad approach. See Stanley in the look. Velo working quickly with Stanley, but some miscommunication where they wanted to go with that ball. Second match of the season for Miami FC, but you can see so far the creativity still a work in progress.
And it's the hardest thing in the game of football is to stick the ball in the back of the net. Much like the game against Tulsa, you're creating a lot of chances 70 minutes in. No really clear-cut opportunities for the home side.
Gap by Yearwood that went back to Miami FC.
Your attention, fans, it's now the last call for the beer garden.
A couple substitutions for New Mexico in a moment. And there they are. Josh Suggs, coming into the contest. Suggs coming in for Greg Hurst. Santi Moar's night is done. Josh Dahling also in. Suggs not too far off. He's from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Please, substituting for New Mexico United at number 17, Greg Hurst.
Dahling from the UK.
He plays by number 9, Josh Dahling. And now number 11.
Suggs last season played in 15 matches.
He is replaced by number 5, Josh Suggs.
So Zach Prince finally going to his bench. But his starting 11 was sound.
It seems like New Mexico has gone into a 3-back. Going to push up. Swartz into it, that right wing back position. You have Yearwood on the left wing back position, Suggs as well. You have Dahling as the target man, player that is extremely comfortable with his back to goal. Going to bring players in. Very sneaky in terms of his movement around the edges. So if you're Paco Craig and Callum Chapman-Page, communication is going to be a massive factor for the rest of this match.
Oh, that was a foul. Dahling with some early activity for him. So it doesn't hurt to try either, especially with where he was on the pitch. Nice little nugget from Zach Prince. You mentioned how good New Mexico's looked early on, and alignment-wise and formationally they've been sound. He's just welcomed in a new baby girl to his family. Lynnon's her name. So you know, for Zach Prince being a coach and being a father 2 times now, 2 girls. Not easy, but his hands are full, him and his wife in Albuquerque. He says he loves the community, loves the opportunity to coach in New Mexico, and his team's shown out so far tonight. It's about the opportunity to counter for Miami FC.
Nice Mark Segbers gets on the interior. The New Mexico back line coming together between him and Suggs. Once again, you just feel this game, it's just stuck in second gear, much like that first half. Just calling for someone to produce. Great ball.
Mines with a good idea. Bolu. That thing settled though. Too much. Telfer. Swartz got in front of it. Stanley. Sorto. Good look though for Stanley. Stanley tried to make a move, couldn't.
But it's brilliant reading of the game, as Will Seymour comes across. And Stanley did extremely well to get in behind Swartz, to cover for the right back, and to win a goal kick. Top class in terms of just reading the play before it happens from the veteran center back for New Mexico.
Take a look at this sequence here, as you mentioned, Ricky.
And it's just good running up the ball from Maiden Stanley. Good ball from Sordo to break lines. And that's something that's just so underrated for center back. As you see your right back get beat or pushed out wide, the rotation, the movement, the shiftness from central position, and when to step out, and the timing is everything for a center back. Will Seymour does that to perfection, and that doesn't hurt to win possession of the ball as well.
Been that kind of a night. A little bit of daylight, and then all of a sudden it just gets closed up. Last season, New Mexico goal differential +9. Miami FC was +15. Both teams qualifying for the postseason. Just their second ever matchup in USL Championship. Daniel Bruce coming into this contest for New Mexico. He's replacing Austin Yearwood.
Out number 3, Austin Yearwood.
You talk about versatility. Bruce has shown that through his career with New Mexico. Can play in the back line, can push up into the midfield as well as that top line. He's going to punch over to the right-hand side, play as maybe that wing-back position. Something that Zach Prince talked about on our phone call, said, look, we have the ability to play so many different formations, to give you so many different looks. The versatility, the fluidity that I want my team to play with is on fruition and on display here tonight for the away team.
Sorto down and not getting up. Yeah, Bruce appeared in 30 matches last season, had 14 starts. Scored a couple times, had 3 helpers. Like 25 years of age. From Warrington, England. Christian Sorto appears to be okay now. Fellas a play on. Sorto came in here in the second half. Craig quickly to Stanley, and then back to Craig. Chapman Page. I mean, a splendid play about 15 minutes ago against Moreno on the defensive side. Sorto just gave it away. Both teams are in action next week. New Mexico playing in its first game of the year here tonight. Not a lot of rust though. Moreno couldn't hold up. And here's Stanley. Stanley gave the one right to Hamilton. Put it on his right boot. Strange how this thing has just not taken any kind of shape, Ricky, and get a little bit of a push from Miami FC, then some resilience for New Mexico, just back and forth like a tug of war.
Shape's just calling for someone to produce
anything,
individual brilliance, some magic combination play.
Peto into the match. This one comes rolling back. Tambakis away from Mines. But they'll potentially get away with a trip there. Back the other way. Moreno. And Bruce for a moment. That's a poor pass intercepted. Telegraph pass. And Bruce looks like he might be given a yellow card. That's exactly the case here in the 81st minute.
And it's a good read from Ben Mines. And as you see, is a big gap in the middle of the field, just goes into second gear. Explosive steps. You can just see the extension of the arm, the pull of the jersey from Daniel Bruce.
Attention please, yellow card has been issued to New Mexico United's number 25, Daniel Bruce. In the 81st minute.
Mines defending, Bruce stopping that positive momentum the other way. The yellow card in the 81st minute. Foul there on Telfer. Telfer's trying to do his thing tonight.
He's been extremely busy on his respected wing. He's been asked a lot to do the defensive part of the game as well, just the way that New Mexico likes to play. Had a very good engine, Ryan Telfer. Really good addition and signing for Miami FC.
Telfer, born in Ontario, Canada, but was raised in Trinidad with his parents. Signed with Toronto FC 2 back in 2017. The way this thing has gone right now, everyone's looking for answers. Lauren, we'll see if she has any with Anthony Pulis down the side.
Yes, I'm here. You can see the urgency starting to pick up. Miami FC needs a goal if they want to secure all 3 points here tonight. And you saw at the 60th minute, Coach Pulis makes those subs to change, to try to get some fresh energy. But you know what? They need to pick up the tempo. I can hear Paco telling his team, pick up the energy, pick up the tempo. If Miami FC wants to win, they need a goal, and time is running out.
I guess I have about 15 minutes or so of action left. One thing that's been apparent is New Mexico's played a sound road contest. But Miami FC has not gotten frustrated despite the lack of opportunities. Not trying to do too much in front of the hometown faithful. Moreno trying to turn the corner. Gave it away though. Below with good positioning, and back comes Miami FC on a counter. Repetto, who's being harassed. Hamilton. Dawn.
Going back to what Lauren said about Coach Pulis and Paco telling him we have to play with a different tempo. Tempo can mean a ton of different. It's a handball.
Saw it from here, and for a way this match has been, kind of indicative. Not a lot going on, then all of a sudden Paco Craig, his hand caught in the cookie jar.
And good things happen just when you whip balls into dangerous positions. You always felt like New Mexico was going to score a goal either from a set piece. Suggs puts this bending ball, and it's just very awkward. As Dalling is contesting Paco Craig, you can see the extension of the left arm. Makes himself bigger. It's not a natural movement from the center back. Clear penalty kick here for New Mexico. And we'll see as Justin Portillo steps up, the set ball specialist for the visitors.
Just unnecessary. I think that's the word that just jumps out. Not something you'd likely see from Paco Craig, but as you had just mentioned, Ricky, Justin Portillo, what, 8 goals last season, trying to get the goal #1 here for New Mexico. Adrian Zendejas, see what you got. Portillo versus Zendejas, first PK against Miami FC this season. Portillo takes it, he shoots it, he scores. Now time is the enemy for Miami FC. First marker of the season for New Mexico. They're up 1-0.
And he was never going to miss, was he? As he elects to close his hips at the last second, he sends Zendejas the wrong way and just ropes this into the side netting. There's a reason why he is the heartbeat of this team. Through the run and play, he pulls the strings, but also from a dead ball. Top class penalty from Justin Portillo to put the visitors up 1-0 in the 86th minute.
Classy move there, but as you'd mentioned at the approach from Suggs, you put the ball in delicate spots, good things are going to happen to you.
And just the way that this game was going, it always felt like it was going to be either a mistake or a goal, and a set piece opportunity. And now we're going to see, talking about tempo, like Lauren said, like Coach Pulis said, tempo could mean a completely ton of different things, whether it's running, energy, but also the ball movement. The ball movement needs to be extremely quick. 1-2 passes. When you start dancing on the ball and taking extra touches, that gives an opposition time and space to get in their defensive and really block down and playing a low block. So if you're Miami FC, how quickly can you play vertical? How quickly can you play horizontal to open up those gaps and get your special players, which are the front 3 on the ball?
Shots are even at 7 apiece, but New Mexico has 5 on target to just the 2 for Miami FC. New Mexico right now owning the possession game too. About 58% to 42 for Miami FC. So a couple things on their side of the ledger. See if there's an equalizer somewhere in the back for the home team. It's the first time this season Miami FC is trailing.
And yes, it's early in the season, but it's all about character now for Miami FC. Things haven't been going your way on the attacking side of the game. But games like this, at home, 1-0 down late in the match, how do you find answers? Who's going to take it upon themselves to make their impact felt?
Hamilton down, Getting a little bit of aid as he gets back to his feet. He's played well tonight.
On the other side of the ball, New Mexico has to be extremely pleased. It's always difficult coming in. First game of the season, long road trip. What was that always going to look like? Frustrate the opposition. First and foremost, try to get a clean sheet. 89 minutes into this game so far. Job well done. Obviously, the goal helps you. Zach Prince should be extremely pleased with the showing from your boys so far.
Curtis Thorne in for Miami FC, and substitution brought to you by Lexus. And as you mentioned it, Tambakis had 7 clean sheets a year ago. Love to grab number 1 here tonight. Velo had other ideas, and right now, just trying to gain possession. Easier said than done. Here's Moreno. Bruce trying to settle it down. I'll tell you what, Nava at the bottom of the screen was wide open by himself. Justin Portillo, a PK in the 85th minute, the difference maker so far. Mines and Moreno were colliding. Miami FC on the road next week to Pittsburgh against the Riverhounds. It'll be on a Friday night, the 24th, at 7 p.m. Miami FC in pursuit of their first win of the season, and have been notified they've got 5 minutes of stoppage time just to get the equalizer. Dejas moving this thing up into the attacking third. Sorto couldn't get to it. There's Telfer. Swords in front of him, providing a good area of resistance. That's just a bad pass between Telfer and Stanley. It's kind of a look of what we've had here tonight.
And once again, you can just see the double down. Daniel Bruce comes down and helps Harry Swartz on the right side. And that makes Ryan Telfer have to pivot, go back the other way. And it's a wayward pass, just heavy legs. Putting a lot of mileage on that left-hand side, working both sides of the ball. They're just working together. Once again, New Mexico in their defensive phase of the game has been top class. Not giving this Miami FC side any opportunity, any gaps to play through their lines.
Swartz down for a moment, but he's okay now. Pride of New Mexico is with Hartford. He was named Hartford's Player of the Season back in 2019. So although the indication is 5 minutes of stoppage time, we'll see if that balloons up even higher. Lead official tonight, Thomas Snyder, telling these guys to get going. Gamesmanship, as they might call it. Here's Craig trying to atone. Chapman Page, he's being surrounded. It was a dangerous spot for him to be in. Darling and Nava there lurking.
This is what I talk about, tempo for Miami FC. Be decisive in your decision making, your passing. Too many times players taking an extra touch. That gives time for New Mexico just to set down and park the bus into a low block, as you see right now. 11 players behind the ball.
Fitting with their colors too. Let's see what you did there, Ricky.
There you go.
Stretched outside of Thorne. Velo with the insert, the header, that was just a bit too tall. But good creativity there with Velo in the middle of the action again.
And as Curtis Thorne is the one to expand and get in behind, he just pops this ball back. Information with the pass, plays it softly for Velo to hit it one time. As he has eyes for that back post, Chapman Page just so unlucky, mistimes his jump, unable to get any sort of contact on the ball. And honestly, David, probably the best opportunity for Miami FC.
I have to go back to about the 61st minute with Velo having a shot from about 35, maybe 40 yards out. Went off the heel of Ryden, but that's been it. It's been all of it. Chapman Page at 6'1", as you mentioned, just mistiming it, not able to get anything on the ball and towards net. Thorne with the heave. That thing's quickly rejected. Telfer, Sorto. Just couldn't settle it down. Opportunity here for Craig. Craig to Sorto out wide. New Mexico looking for an offside. Bolu with the chip. Chapman Page just could not settle it. Here's Stanley. Take a look at Thomas Snyder in the middle of the pitch. See if he's blowing his whistle, checking that wrist. Mines. Thorne trying to use his body. And possession earned right here from Miami FC. Probably the last attempt here for the home team to get the equalizer. This will result in a corner kick. This one brought to you by Baptist Health. I beg your pardon, that resulted in a free kick.
I think it's Nava that comes in, trying to get his body in front of this ball. The arms come up and makes himself bigger. You're looking just for pure quality. If you're Aiden Stanley, take a deep breath, slow things down. Extremely key to beat that first man, trying to catch Tembakis in no man's land.
Well, we'll see what Stanley does here. Final act potentially. Sorto just gave that one away. But on the retreat, let's see how they rule that. Thorne trying to get to it in time. Well, that's not the case. Well, the effort was one thing. The energy was solid, but the performance, questionable. Something that we mentioned, Ricky, from the opening onset, how to create chances, how to materialize some offense, how to score goals, nothing doing. But the other side of things, Alex Tembakis, his first clean sheet of the season. New Mexico United wins it by a score of 1-0. But we take a look at our man of the match tonight, Ricky. Brought to you by Tata 2.
And Ryan Telfer, he was the most lively attacking player for Miami FC, doing both sides of the ball on the left-hand side. Asking questions of Swartz as the right back, But again, it takes more than one man just to break this team down. This New Mexico side was so organized, very difficult in terms of their defensive unit, but Ryan Telfer, once again, a very difficult and hard put shift in from the winger from Miami FC.
Second match of the season for Miami FC. They fall again by a score of 1-0. Justin Portillo, the PK in the 85th minute, was the difference maker in this thing. New Mexico on the road wins their season opener. 1-0 was the final score.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
New Mexico United wins this one on the road tonight against Miami FC by a final score of 1-0 with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. Ricky, we close up shot tonight with some highlights. For Miami's case, didn't have a whole lot.
You know, it was a very defensive-minded game between both of these teams. No one really took the reins and with both hands and said, this is my game. I'm going to be the one that produces that little bit of magic. We see there's a lot of shots from distance, not really getting into that final third. No combination play. This is another good opportunity here for Miami FC, but again, you see it from distance, about 35 yards in Timbakis. You're going to need something a bit more special to beat a keeper that had so much success, that's so good like this. But if you're Zach Prince, you have to be extremely pleased with how your boys defended. Swartz gets an early yellow in that first half, so what was that second half always going to look like against Ryan Telfer? He was very good covering for each other. New Mexico, they had a game plan, they implemented it, they made life extremely frustrating for Miami FC, and this is where the game changed. You always felt like it was going to be a set piece, a mistake, but what about both? Suggs picks his head up and just whips this ball in. Paco Craig knows it, left arm's extended, makes himself bigger, and then it's the magician Justin Portillo steps up, closes his hips. There's no keeper that is stopping that. The pace, the precision, the skill, the Iceman, they call him down in New Mexico. As he makes no mistake about it, he was never going to miss. 8 goals last year, gets his first goal in 1 game. But then you start to see Miami FC come alive. But if you had this energy the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, what about the first 90 minutes? This is the same way you need to start the game, the way that you ended the game. Anthony Pulis has to go back to the drawing board, get his boys to create more chances like they did in FC Tulsa, but it's another frustrating day for Miami FC, and they pick up 0 points here at home.
Full-time stats tonight, New Mexico picks up 3 points. They blank Miami FC. First one of the season, 1-0 was the final score. And the stats, they tell you everything that happened in this contest tonight.
You see only 2 shots on target. You don't shoot, you're not going to score. But again, Zach Prince, they had a game plan to get a clean sheet. They got that, but then they also found the goal to open the deadlock, and they walk home with all 3 points.
Yeah, Alex Tambakis, couple stops tonight for the clean sheet. New Mexico United on the road tonight wins it by a final score of 1-0. And for Miami FC, they're on the road next week. They'll take on Pittsburgh, the Riverhounds, on a Friday night at 7 o'clock. We'll be with you with all the action. So for my broadcast partners, Ricky Lopez-Espin and Lauren Markwith, I'm David Gascon saying so long on a Saturday night where New Mexico United defeats Miami FC 1-0 is the final.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.